Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What a lovely Monday morning to greet you today, Monday, 16th November. We give God, Almighty God, thanks again for His love and mercies and grace and goodness and all of that. Remember, without Him, without God smiling on us, in spite of our undeserving behavior, unrequited love, as it were, which we receive from God, we will not be here. And we wonder why is it sometimes some persons who seem to live lives of pure wickedness, as it were. We are judging them from our human perspective. We wonder why they survive, and other persons who seem to live good lives, they pass to the great beyond at too early an age. But that's not for us to judge and determine, because to give and to take lives is not in our hands, only in the hands of He who created all things. So we give God thanks. I happened to go by to visit the location of the houses that were affected by the so-called landslide at Frigate Bay, Fort Tyson Rise. And I am glad I went, because I was able to see firsthand exactly what has transpired and to perhaps gain an understanding as to what would have precipitated that kind of development, a kind of first or perhaps second in our history of construction of edifices in the Federation. But there's no time to delve into that today, as it were, because we have two guests, two fine gentlemen who represent the St. Kitts National Men's Council. And they're here to talk with us today about a couple of things, because we are celebrating this week Men's Week, as it were. We all know that on Thursday, 19th November, is International Men's Day. And the Men's Council, of course, is... It so happened, by the way, that the Men's Council was formed on the 17th of November, 4 years ago. And it was not designed or planned to have the Men's Council formed around the same time as International Men's Day, but that was a fortuitous incident, very coincidental, and so this is the fact of the matter. So we have the President here and his Treasurer, I think, right, who are going to be sharing with us some of what they have done, what they are doing this week, and we're also going to hear about men's involvement in their children's education to some extent. Is that at a point which we expect and desire, or is there much to be accomplished? Is there much left to fill in terms of that? And then, of course, we are going to be asking the question, why are men seemingly so reluctant to get themselves involved in certain types of associations, organizations, and certain types of behaviors? Why do they display certain kinds of attitudes as distinct from women? Of course, men and women are different, and so they will, by nature and practice, display different types of behavior and bring to the table different styles and approaches to understanding how and why certain challenges and problems occur and how to solve them. But we wonder why is it at times, because we're both human beings, male and female of the species, there are certain things, many things, far more things we have in common than those which divide us. And we wonder why we as men oftentimes seem to be lacking and slacking in a number of areas. So, Mr. President, welcome, and Mr. Treasurer, likewise. Over to you.
Yeah, we give thanks. We give thanks to be here. My name is Melvin Agard, and I'm the president of the Men Council, and we're here during the week of celebrating, as Mr. Blake would have just put it, our anniversary, which is the 17th of this month. That would be tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Yeah. So we have been doing some stuff in terms of activities surrounding the whole week, where we have in this radio interview now. We had one day on Saturday on Win FM, and we're just continuing the conversation, hoping that we'll get even more callers in this one than what we had on Saturday, which we had just about 3 callers and so on. We know sometimes that this type of topic may not be that attractive, but still, listen, try to engage with us, because what we're here doing, we're trying to get men to be involved into what we're doing, because if we don't have that kind of help, we can't do anything. I heard someone say that will is one of the greatest forces in the universe. And so you could have all kind of things in your hand, but if you don't have the will to do anything, nothing will happen. So I'm appealing to all men who are listening and to encourage you to call in on the program, or even if not on the program, but to call AGAD or this other number from Mills. AGAD number is 665-9758, and our secretary number is 665-5948. That's Philip Mills. Now we are having a lecture on Wednesday, the 18th, with Dr. Siheli, and it's going to be COVID and men. So we're inviting the general public at large to be a part of this discussion. But most importantly though, besides the discussion, we're having a health walk on the 24th, which is Saturday, and this 24th of this month, Saturday, and we are hoping that we'll get as many men to come out and support us. It's not a hike, it's just a health walk to Sulphur Stone. We are meeting at the movies area, and we're going to just walk to Sulphur Stone. We're going to have discussions while we're there at Sulphur Stone, and we're asking that you all come out and support as much as you can. I give thanks, Salah.
Good morning, one and all. I'm Dwight Berridge. I'm the treasurer of the St. Kitts National Men's Council. I've been involved in the council for about 2 years now. When I first heard about it, I was invited by one of the members, and I gladly accepted the invitation. I attended the meeting, and I felt that it was really something that was needed for a time like this. Men in general, we find some men are shirking their responsibilities as fathers, as leaders, and so the council, to me, represents an avenue where we can create good men in society. We've often heard the question being asked, where are all the good men? Where have they gone? What are men doing? What are the men doing? And so the St. Kitts National Men's Council represents a beacon, a light that can really shine in the darkness. And so I'm very happy to be part of this group, and I'm also using this forum to extend an invitation to men everywhere in the nation to be part of it. You can't lose. It's something that you can benefit from, and something that you can be a part of, where you can make a difference.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. By the way, of course, I too am a member of the council. As a matter of fact, I proudly sporting the council's t-shirt, or polo shirt rather, and the council's custom-made face mask. Okay, we are proud of that. Now, Mr. President, Mr. Treasurer, Messieurs Berridge and AGAD, we've had some difficulty attracting and retaining men to the council. I would like a question. This question is directed to both of you, and the lines are open when you're ready, ladies and gentlemen. And I want some men in particular, and women too, to explain to me this question, the answer to this question. Why are men reluctant to become members of an organization such as the Men's Council? Why are men not gravitating towards the council? Mr. President, why do you think the council is having problems getting men to become involved? Give me some reason that you think, personally, directly. And Mr. Berridge, the same question to you. Why is it that men are not becoming involved in such an entity? And those of you listening by radio and other means, call us and explain to us, why is it you think that men at this time of our history, at this juncture of our development, 2020, men in St. Kitts are not interested, apparently, because I'm aware that over the past 4 years of the council's existence, the council has been to a number of churches and engaged a number of 4, through which they have actively and persistently invited men to become part of the council. 1 or 2 have responded in the positive, but the majority of those who have come have not stayed. And of course, those are a minuscule percentage of men in the society who have actually come through in the first place. Why is this so? What describes, what explains this phenomenon? I would like to know what your views are. And ladies and gentlemen, call us and tell us as well. Why do you think, why are men not seemingly, and I don't think it's superficial, I think it's a fundamental truth to state that by and large men show no interest in this kind of thing. You go down, for example, I'm giving you time to get your thoughts together in terms of answering the question, but you go down to the ferry terminal where men gather in significant numbers of times to play games and to chat and engage in social intercourse. You go to the football stadium, you go to certain bars, there are certain places where men congregate. At the domino tables around the island, where they be in a building, in a bar, under a tree, on the lamppost, men are gathered. Young men, middle-aged men, older men. And if you were to engage them in conversation about, hey, becoming a member, I don't think the response would be very positive or constructive. They would, my anticipation is that they would respond with disdain and distaste almost, and maybe exhibit at best, for courtesy purposes, a superficial interest in, what do you do? What is it about? What's in it for me? That kind of thing. So I think we have a problem here in terms of getting men to understand that there are things that they should be doing which we are not doing as men, and that there are entities such as the Men's Council which can facilitate men arriving at the point where they ought to be. So fundamentally the question is, what are your views as to why men simply seem to have such a great, not just difficulty, reluctance in accessing groups such as the St. Kitts National Men's Council?
Yes, I think one of the main reasons would be what is in it for me. Mm-hmm. One of the main reasons is what is in it for me.
Let's take this caller. Okay. So keep your thoughts together, of course. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, Mr. Blake and others, the group there.
Yes, sir.
Now, I've been listening since last week, and I believe I've been listening the group for a while now on the radio, talking about men and joining.
Yes.
But I will say something. Now, a lot of men, I believe, do listen your program. But let me tell you something with St. Kitts men.
Okay.
St. Kitts men, what you call it? We're very slack, very careless. I mean, that ain't the right word I really want to cover it, but we're very careless. I mean, we will put off a doctor appointment. We will put off a meeting. You know, always like, bye, what's going on? You know? Sometimes we don't even know your own self. But there's a God, I'm afraid to tell you. I mean, Mr. Blake, you know that. You know? But let me say this. It's three things that men gravitate to. If it's an alcohol party, they're going to be there. They will come around a domino game or a football game. Chatting nonsense, we involved in that. And sometimes I wonder why. I mean, go in a group of men and you hear them chatting wayward things, and you start to talk things that are constructive, and you see them start to walk off one by one, one by one. You know, and sometimes I wonder why we Kittian men don't take part in things that is constructive. It's a part of us. Even the ones who we feel educated, you know, they're reluctant to educate the lesser ones. They you know, we got a problem. Now I want to ask a question. I heard the guy talking about some meeting or something where talk about COVID. What's going to happen?
At the old girls' school? Yeah, he forgot to mention that. At the old girls' school?
Girls' school where at
The Anglican Church Hall.
the road there by the park.
Yes, at 7 o'clock.
Thank you.
7 o'clock on Wednesday.
I'll try to be there.
Please.
You see, we got a problem. Men have a problem. And we need to pull ourselves together. Because I'm telling you, if that was a woman program, that would have been done. The women would have filled it. They'll fill up the organization. Men don't stick around. It is something good for us. I see it as something good for us.
Well, make sure you come and help us fill it up.
Come around because I believe it will bring a lot of educational topics to us.
Yeah, well, listen.
Kind of and I'm planning to come and see you all.
Definitely, come and listen and learn.
Join because I am a man.
Sounds good.
And I believe I like constructive things. I mean, I hear you all say that you all going in the hills there sometime. I love those kind of things, going in the hills. But
you like me then?
Also with a group that go around the island and they go on Saturday too. They're going on this Saturday. A group called Hash. It's a very good group. It's a very educational group really, but it mixes man and woman.
Yeah, but listen.
All young and this kind of thing.
Yeah, listen.
So I will see if I could make it.
Yeah.
With you all,
right.
Saturday morning. I don't know if we're gonna be there.
Okay, thank you. But listen.
I'm glad for the.
Yeah, give me a minute there.
For the man organization.
Yeah, give me a minute there. Give me a minute, please. If Hash goes every Saturday, and we are going just this one Saturday, man, come with us.
They don't go every Saturday.
That's what you said.
They go every 2 Saturdays.
But you didn't say that. But if they go every other Saturday.
Okay. I understand what you're saying.
Right.
I will try to be there.
Thank you very much.
But you see, what really happened, I got to tell you the truth. Every time they go to some place educational and some place new. I mean, I've been to Silverstone a lot of times, so that is why I hear me make the comments. But I'm glad for the men council, and me myself gonna try to see if I could encourage a couple men to come around and hear what y'all got to say. I think too, you all got to organize like sports and them kind of thing. Cricket and sport and football and them kind of thing. And you will get a lot of things because men love sports.
Okay.
And they will come.
Thank you. But bear in mind, the men's council can't do all of that or any of that except we have the manpower. We cannot do those things except we have the men, the numbers in the council to do those things. And so we need people like you and other men to come on board, give us the numbers, because there is strength in numbers, and we want to turn numbers into strength so that we can engage in those kinds of things, because certainly we have those in our vision, but with 2 and 3 and 5 and maybe even 10 persons, we really can't do much when we have a population of almost 20,000 men, right? And we would be very happy to have persons like our last caller, Mr. President. We look forward to seeing him on Wednesday. We hope he comes and identifies himself to you as the president so that you can book him as a member, a potential member, and we can move from there. We invite other callers, tell us why, and we appreciate the explanation that this caller gave, that men seem to gravitate towards issues that relate to alcohol, dominoes and football, and chatting nonsense. That's interesting. So, we should, if men, coming to Mr. Berry, if men really love to chat nonsense, should the men's council organize a weekend
chat nonsense
for pure nonsense chatting? Okay? And invite Rascal and so on to be there to help us in that, and other men. Yes.
Well, I want to emphasize something that the caller said. He said, like, it is important, he recognizes the importance of the men's council.
Yes.
And I've heard that sentiment being echoed by a lot of people, a lot of men in the federation. Oh, that's a good thing y'all are doing down there. But when it comes to meetings, attending and being involved, they're lacking, they're lost. Yeah. So I do believe that most men in the nation, they recognize the contribution that men can make, but to be involved in groups and association Maybe some of them are thinking it's just another organization or it's another group that meeting that I have to attend every Wednesday, and or they're gonna want me to do this and do that, pay dues, and basic thoughts about groups and organizations. So I just want to encourage the men to really put away those thoughts, those ideas, because like you just said, when it comes to domino playing and partying and chatting nonsense, they're there and they are involved. And when it comes, but this group, the organization seeks to build men and to strengthen men, and that is what we need in our society today, even more than ever before.
Right. As a matter of fact, the motto of the Men's Council is empowering men for service. Empowering men for service, for national service. That's the motto of the Men's Council, ladies and gentlemen. Empowering men for national service. So Mr. Berry is right. The council seeks to build and to ensure that men are equipped with the wherewithal to make the positive contribution. Now, we had interrupted you, Mr. President. You can continue now. You may continue now.
Well, the funny thing is that the caller actually put everything perfectly, and the part about chatting nonsense, and when you try to have a constructive conversation, you see men start walking away. I've experienced that many times, and I've experienced the part where as soon as they're about to walk away, you chat a little bit of nonsense, they come back. And they stick around for a little bit. You try to start something a little constructive, they start to watch their time now, they just remember they have somewhere to go. And then when they're about to leave, all you do is just chat a little nonsense again, and they stay right there all day as long as you keep the nonsense involved. And it's very sad we're saying all of this, but it's a reality, and I think all men need to check themselves, with these situations. But I think what is causing all of this is the conditioning of men throughout the timing. We have a call?
Yeah, we have another caller. Let's take him before you continue. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Oh, yes, ma'am. How nice to hear from you.
Hi, good day. This question from Mr. Akers.
Sorry?
President, Mr. Akers.
Yeah.
We're not hearing you clearly. Sorry.
We're not hearing you clearly.
This week is Child Abuse Prevention Week.
Something about child abuse?
Child abuse
Prevention Week.
prevention week. Oh, okay.
Yes. With an emphasis on sexual, especially in our girls. I'm wondering, now that I'm learning about the Men's Council, how can the Men's Council get involved in tackling this or addressing this big problem that we seem to be facing now with child abuse?
Excuse me. Hello. Hello.
Yes?
Yeah, I want to make sure I got you right, because you really don't, you're not very
Clear.
audible or...
I'm sorry, I was saying that this week
That's better.
is Child Abuse Prevention Week.
Right, okay.
Emphasis on sexual abuse in children, and especially in our girls.
Right.
Not only girls are sexually abused, but
Yeah, we know.
seem to have a large number of those types of cases in the Federation. Now that I'm learning that there's a Men's Council and about the Men's Council, I'm wondering if the Men's Council has ever addressed or tackled this problem that we seem to be having in the Federation, and if not, would that be something that you would be willing to discuss?
Okay. Hello. That's it? Okay, that's an intervention we very much welcome. This is child abuse. Hey, this month, there's a lot of activities being celebrated, believe it or not. This is also the week of entrepreneurship, for example. Child Abuse Prevention Week, with a focus on sexual abuse of females. And how could the Men's Council be? And that's a very good question.
Did she say females though? I think
She said sexual abuse of girls.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear the girls.
Yes, you did. You may remind her that we have in fact had training courses for men with respect to custody, child custody rights and so on, and the role of men in men's responsibilities for their children and so on. But we have not really addressed this one directly, and we could very well begin the process of starting some training in that area. But over to you, Mr. President. What's your response to the lady?
Well, yeah, this is something we definitely would partner up with any group that is dealing with any such thing like this. as far as initiating any workshop or any forum or anything like that, I guess maybe in time we'll just that'll be something that we can work on into the future. But child abuse, I just would want to say to the caller that if she did say girls, I think that's a little bit off balance, because I think child abuse prevention should be not just a girl's thing. It should be, in my opinion.
No. She did say that this is child abuse, meaning both genders weak, but that they're focusing on sexual abuse. Because child abuse takes very many forms. Definitely. But this week they're focusing on a specific form of abuse, which is sexual abuse, and of girls. Mm-hmm. But she did acknowledge that, of course, boys are abused too. So, you know, nothing is wrong with focusing on a particular area at a particular time. So, but that's what she's suggesting.
Yeah.
This week is...
right, I hear that. I still believe in balance, though. But, yes, definitely we would... This is something, again, we definitely could partner up with, but, you know, to have such conversations or to be in any forum in regards to anything like that. We have no problem with partnering with the lady.
We've had this discussion in meetings.
Of course.
Yeah, but my response would be that if we want to address, if this society in general needs to, and we need to address the question of sexual abuse of children in general, it has to start from early o'clock. What we're trying to do now is deal with it after the fact. In other words, I think we're addressing our attention to adults. But really, children in general, boys in particular, need to learn from early o'clock, from day one, the way females are supposed to be treated. And not just their own sisters, not just their own nieces and cousins and so on, but females in general. I am going to insist that it has to start from very young ages, 6 months, a year. And that the role of the parent is not only paramount, but indispensable in this regard. It is the parents who must teach the children that. The fact of the matter is that many parents don't know. And a man cannot teach what he does not know. So this is why, again, I'm asking for parenting education in schools.
Yeah,
okay? So it goes back to that. Let's take this other caller. Hello?
Greetings.
Yes, ma'am.
Greetings.
Thanks for accepting the call. Extend greetings to your
Yes.
Yeah,
studio.
bless her.
You know, yes, Mr. Blake, you're right. You have to start young, otherwise you ain't gonna walk.
Exactly.
Now go walk at all. It's if we in there early. Otherwise, no, it's not gonna work. You know, I think he was your first call. He said many things, but he said in something what he said, I am a man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You know, they have a saying in the sex world, they say, the men them a dog, the men them a bulldog. No for man to say that. I mean to say to them, they say to a couple of them, say, yeah, men not bulldog, but not man. Because everything starts with the individual, you know. We had this conversation the other day when I said, no, man, woman, know thyself. If individual man, and you see, you ask a question and you throw it out. So, me want answer, me want me part of that. Me see, your president start, he say, and he start with the same thing where you mentioned, what's in it for me. But listen, whatever we may think about that, the non coming forward to be part of the program there.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do with individual man. Never mind the name that you have. The name that you have is because you're dealing with more than one.
Right.
Good. But let me get back to the point there. Me say, yes, men are dog. Because it's more than one. But man is not dog. Because individually we find man no part of the organization there. Mr. Blake, you not part of it?
Yes.
A God in a part of it.
Definitely.
The brethren in a part of it.
Yes, sir.
Together, uno is man, but individually, uno is man. So therefore, it's very serious now. Everything starts with the self. Everything starts with the person, the individual, the man. Before you go to the man, it starts with the man. And I want to tell you them, sir. We could call the man them from the finger, the men them plenty, you know. But you could call man from your finger. And this is a serious thing. And that is what causing the problem.
Okay.
In general, we have too much men and we have few man.
Okay, I like that.
We have too much men. I want to know to see what I'm saying now. I want to know to see what I'm saying, not sound weird, but I want to know to open up on the sites.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. You are suggesting. It seems to me you are suggesting that not every male is a man.
Exactly. Exactly. The dog when you on point out and say, oh, afraid to go a doctor, not care about your health, afraid positive conversation. Them is not man.
Right, they may be male, but they're not man.
No.
Understood.
You have a serious problem around us. And it's the same thing on the other side, the woman them too now. It's the same thing you might say, woman. But all of them are women. They have woman. Of course, and you can count the woman them on your finger too. Both sides of the fence we have it. Blessed love. We continue to listen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. Right. So, for the responses, I was suggesting, and I want to repeat it before I turn back to you guys, that if we're going to prevent any kind of abuse of not just children, because we're abusing our elderly as well. We are abusing elderly folks, our parents and grandparents, especially when they get to particular ages. I find that a lot of them are being abused in a different way from children, of course, different from children, but abused nonetheless. And I'm suggesting that I am contending that in order for this to cease, we have to begin to instruct our children about the need to show compassion and love, about the dangers of mistreating others, and it has to start from early in their stages of development. We cannot wait until they're at high school. We cannot wait until they're young adults, when the practices become more pronounced and more acute, to say, hey, that is wrong. And so, how do we attempt to deal with this? Through legislation and criminalization and so on. When in fact, prevention is always the better way to go. And how do we prevent it? By teaching our students from day one, our children from day one, what is right, what should be done, what should not be done. And again, I'm saying, because many parents are not equipped with the informational wherewithal to impart this knowledge, impart this information, then we need to begin to teach children in school what it means to be a parent when that time comes. I have been saying this for years. I've written to that effect to two different ministers of education, and I have not seen much action. I have not seen any action in that respect. I've also argued that we need to return to single-sex schools, particularly for boys, because if we really want to solve some of these problems, we keep talking and talking about them, and we're not engaging in the actions that would change the kind of paradigm. So we're going to talk until Jesus Christ returns. Okay, but if we really need to set new examples, we have to begin with our youngsters from very early o'clock, and we have to be prepared to have not just the general will, but the political will to implement these measures. Otherwise, Brother Man will come back here next year, and the year after that, and when our children and grandchildren are grown, and we will have the problem continuing ad infinitum. Fortunately, many people are convinced that Jesus Christ will return before very long. Carry on.
I hope that will be tomorrow. Yes, the problem that we have before us in terms of like I think I mentioned earlier about what is in it for me, as the caller had alluded to. But in looking at the situation in a kind of holistic way, is really, really a difficult issue to deal with, because we have 3 areas in our society that actually condition the general society in itself, and that is school, church, and politics. And these are really very impactful on people in general. And
He left out the home.
well, because each home person had to go school, they go church, and they're also involved in politics. So I'm just saying church, school, and politics. I'm not saying home, because home is included in it all. Each person come from home. So I'm saying that in the...
We have another caller. Let's take him before he or she goes. Hello, caller.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Very well.
Yes, yes. Some of the calls that you've received this morning reinforces the intervention that I made on Saturday, that the Men's Council should examine its role and strategies with a view to inculcating values, right, as a way of complementing the efforts of other groups that advocate for social change, right? It has to be a partnership. And while I agree with your guest stressing balance between the sexes, that is necessary for harmonious development of the society. The areas that unite us, that are common, I think, should be the ones that are emphasized, rather than the ones that divide us. For instance, there's a general perception that men are responsible for the abuse of young women, and we don't know that for a fact, and we really need the data. I don't know who's responsible for collecting data on these.
No. Which one we don't know for a fact? That young women have been abused?
No. That men are responsible.
So we accept that women are being abused, but the question is, you're putting a question mark as to who commits the abuse or who perpetrates the abuse.
Yes, and the extent. Okay, because there is the perception there that the men are responsible. Okay, and that may not necessarily be the case.
Largely responsible is the argument, I think.
Yes, is that backed up by data? That's what I'm asking, because we can talk glibly about these things and go from the point of view of the fact that usually when issues come to the fore, it's the case of the men being responsible. But without data, without scientific data, without investigation by the proper authority, we don't know for sure. So what I'm saying is that we shouldn't just select issues and then make pronouncements on them based on our just gut feeling or or emotion or things like that. We should actually do the proper research, okay? And I'm sure there are agencies who well, if they don't do it, can do it.
The data is there, caller. Just to interrupt a little, the data is there. The Special Victims Unit, for instance, is one of those organizations that actually have this data. It clearly shows that men are the main perpetrators when it comes to sexual abuse and domestic abuse. So the data is there.
So that's a fact. Okay.
That is a fact.
Right. So now in dealing though with that data, right? How does the Men's Council see its role? Because once the data is there in that Special Victims Unit, it suggests that it is now a police matter,
legal matter.
And I'm not sure that the Men's Council at that point can deal with that. It has to come, the intervention by the Men's Council has to come before. As Mr. Blake just suggested, it's a whole lot of education and training well in advance of these things happening.
Definitely.
Right? So okay, let us accept that men has a role to play in reducing the numbers that the Special Victims Unit have in their files. Okay? And it still requires to me a lot of partnership with the women's organizations who also would deal with the issue, albeit from a slightly different focus and perspective. But definitely y'all should be talking to each other. I think that's the main point.
And we are.
Okay.
Not in isolation.
All right.
Don't be isolationist here. Okay.
Thank you very much. Listen. Yeah, sorry, that's it? Okay. Gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, we have another caller? Let's take him. Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Blake, you got me?
Got you.
Good morning to you, Mr. Berry, and the other guy there with the big name. I can't even remember it, so let me go on it.
Hey, God.
Yeah, hey, God. Good program. Look, I disagree with certain things the last caller said. There is a large database of man abusing woman.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen that since me a little picnic grew up. My mother had a neighbor there, and when he done cut cane and he reach home, and he only got to see smoke coming up out the fence. He no pattern. And when he come in and he hoist up the cow, and food not done cook yet, 1 foot in the coal pot knock it down. And then he go bang the woman. And then one of his children come up to do the same thing with the girlfriend. So like X say, he got to start from down there with them little children be.
Yeah, but that's lunacy. That's idiotic. That's
definitely more worse than idiotic.
That's asinine.
And look at it, simple in the public. When you got a jamming on the street, you got some man going in the band, and they going behind a woman, and the woman only turn and say, no, don't hold me, don't walk up on me, don't come behind me. Right away, bopping your face, if you ain't dancing, go with the band. It's ignorance. And that is abuse of woman. And it go the other way around too, in many ways. I know some woman does abuse man because the children gone to an orphan home. So therefore, I think the support from the man, the father, not supposed to go to the orphan to look after them children. But the woman, they want to summon the man because they ain't getting the money. Well, if the child ain't with you, how you want to put out your hand and summon the man for money? Let the money go where the picnic them be. So they're abusing the privilege of taking the man money.
Definitely.
And when the father now give them the money, if a child or two children live with the mother, and the father go give them the money, you know who the money spent on? Fingernail long look powered beak, braids in here, toenail paint up, eyelash come long look has eyelash, and nothing for the picnic. When you look, you see the picnic, them all over the place look dirty and stink. Not the money out of the father support gone to them. That is abuse in a different form. So therefore, and you got children, toddlers, men, and boys. So a lot of them who are in big man clothes are toddlers, they be. But they're going presenting themselves to the world like they're big man. But the first caller there, when he said that a lot of activities should have been among this thing, right? I agree with him. But it takes time. And like you say, they take the help to do that. Because what happened, a lot of men like to be, hold on. Yeah, okay. A lot of men like to be gathering around organization where they could use the profanities at will, anyhow. They don't care who they. That's one. And drink your woman go on with that kind of thing. But these kind of organizations, they call for a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
And if individuals do not have discipline among themselves, they ain't gonna come there. They will not come there. But I used to like that when me wheel them the pump up, but they flat now. But I could contribute verbally and financially to anything who need help. So good program. God bless all you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Let's take another caller.
Hello. Of course, you're going to give me a return, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, greetings.
Hey, greetings. Watch out. Because something made me want to talk different to the topic. But let me say something on the topic first. Watch out. Me don't like when the institution mentioned government, church, this, that, and me don't hear the home, As Mr. Blake, me know you always depend on top of thing. And listen, it is very important to watch out. let me make this thing touchable here, man. You, Mr. Blake, you come up in a home where your environment it was such that your meditation could have been different. And that should the power of knowing oneself. And you had a granny there, she a skylark. Sure. You see, me no want, what I got, we not talk about anything, man. See, Mr. Blake pull you up. Remember the warm.
1 minute. Let me just say this.
Yes.
What I'm saying
no,
is
no, what? No, before you say what you're going to say.
Let him finish.
Before you say what you're going to say, you say, when you mention the sound about home, you say,
school
them other place. No, mention home. What you're going to say now?
I was going to tell you that school.
No, just a minute. Eli, you finish?
No, I'm not finished.
I want you to finish.
Hold on. Let me just say.
No, we were out of time, so I want you to finish and then let Egal respond. No. I'm sorry, I'm going to exercise prerogative here as chairman. I'm going to let Eli finish before you intervene because we're out of time.
Yes.
From the bakery. Let me glad to name American no more. From Amory Bakery. Come you so know the name Amory Bakery.
You have a chance.
We want to give add to the chance, but we want to mention to the bridge to the bridge who is alive, and I know say if your brother was here, either support the, we want him to adopt the alley, go across by Dr. Lars and go up to Humbles, right name, Temple Alley, right name. We want him to adopt the alley.
Excuse me, have you spoken to him about that?
Beckani?
Have you spoken to him? Have you approached him and discussed that with him?
We gonna do it.
Yeah, we need to do that. I think that's the first step. Yeah.
Yes, okay. We're going to do it.
Okay.
Give thanks.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Eli has made that call before. I think he needs to begin by approaching the individual himself. Yeah, you wanted to make a response.
I wanted to correct Eli. That's why I was trying to get in to say that the home is conditioned by the three mentions I made: school, politics, and church.
Yeah, we disagree.
Even though we're talking about home, the home by itself, the home is not just conditioned by itself. These are the three main factors in society that actually condition the home.
Yeah, well,
and church, school, and politics, in my opinion, play the major roles in dealing with the home. So when you're dealing with the home now, in educating the children and teaching them values and all these things, come from these three areas.
Yeah, I disagree. I think it's the other way around. I think the home is the one that conditions all other institutions in society. I think that the home is at the top of the pyramid, and all other institutions flow from that, as opposed to what you're proposing. Right, exactly. Definitely, that's my view. Let's take another caller before we hear from Berridge. Hello, caller.
Good morning, Brother Blake.
Good morning to you.
And good morning to Mr. Berridge and Mr. Egard.
Yeah, greetings.
Now, Brother Blake, let me tell you something, Mr. Egard. Abuse by men and women ain't supposed to. I'm agreed no man supposed to abuse no woman, and no woman supposed to abuse man. And any abuse in this federation of Sinkit and Nevis with men and women is the woman them are causing abuse from their own self. Because most of these women know who the guys be, who they're going to pick up, who they're going to be the wife, who they're going to be the husband. You understand? They don't know that. So I believe that in any abuse, the cause abuse and abuse by men, by women, to men and men in the federation, to me opinion, abuse by men, from women to man in the federation. Any woman who cause the abuse on herself, they cause it on themselves. I fight in the federation all the time. All right then.
Okay, thank you. All right, Barry, you wanted to make a point, I think?
The global
we have just 5 more minutes.
Pandemic has really disrupted, it's resulted in an unprecedented crisis in travel, in education, in health, in many areas. It has really disrupted our lives. And children today need good fathers and good parenting. Mr. Blake, you have always advocated for parenting to be a subject taught at school. Definitely. And I believe, as we talk about the home environment, you mentioned the school and the church, and so these institutions indeed have a role to play. But things start at home. Charity begins at home. So I think that the home environment is critical to the fostering of good, the boys being mentored and being raised in a practical way that will help them to develop as men and to shoulder responsibility for when they get married and when they have their own family, because that's important to me.
But I think what the folks seem to be asking is that the men's council get involved in programs that eventually end up in a reduction in the abuse by men. But again, we are saying the men's council cannot do it on its own.
Need manpower.
The men's council need individuals to become a part of the entity, so that together, we can execute these kinds of policies and programs. So to stay on the outside and say the council should be doing this and the council should be doing that, really is doesn't help much. I don't want to use the word I had in mind.
And we
want persons to become involved. Persons of all ages, once you're an adult, and all ranks in terms of occupation. Let's take another caller. Yes, sir.
Good program. Let me tell you something. As you, as a teacher, always instill the parents that you want to see come to teachers' meeting is those that you don't see come.
You better believe it.
And you always say into every teacher's meeting, once the parents can step forward, they'll have no alternative and become good. And Mr. Blake, I respect you and what his name, Tatum, and when he hear our utterance, it make me step down on my children in a school. And Mr. Blake, I step down as a father, single-handed father, with 5 children.
Yep.
And I never go to the courthouse to bail out none of them. Never go make up the case. Because in school, when they got the meeting and I hear when Mr. Bell not behaving, I deal with the matter right there and then. Because I, as a parent, I try to teach you. And that is the things that will happen to children in school. They've been polished it up by Tom, Dick, and Mary.
Yeah.
And when you, the parents, sometimes go and abuse down the teachers and bang down the teachers, you run down to the politician, or the politician make the school bend to the rules. And this is where the behavior comes down, that you have all these hazards around. Then a teacher going to deal with the matter in school as he speaks. Which I always say, a teacher in the classroom must deal with the matter as he speaks. If no one send a child to every time he do something over in class, go to the office.
Yeah.
That child education is being hampered.
Yes, we are going out of time, so
deal with the matter there and then in the class.
definitely.
And the child will to crap with a ruler, a stamp and whip, whatever you want to use to correct the child.
Yeah, yeah.
They will sit down.
You have 30 seconds more.
And the others wouldn't come and try to interrupt the class.
Thank you very much.
But when you send them to the office,
Yeah, you have 30 seconds more.
children up to the office of
Not hearing me.
it, one head teacher the matter.
Okay. Alright. Thank you. Okay, yeah, we are almost out of time actually, so I really hate to have to cut people off, but that is just how it is because we don't have a lot of time. This program is pretty short, and I think ZIZ needs to consider extending the amount of time. We have time for final intervention from both of you gentlemen, and then we'll call it George. So last words from both of you.
My last word is that there were quite a few topics that came out of this small conversation, and I would like that, as time progressed, we could have come back and deal with some of these situations.
You can come back next week. You can come back whenever you wish.
Because as we go along, we see different topics just coming out, and we basically never get to deal with any.
That is true.
So
that is true.
Let me just try to deal with one at a time, and then we could just have more conversations out of it.
So let me know when you're ready to return. We'll facilitate you.
Okay.
Mr. Berries, final words from you.
My final words. There's a saying that
I know there's a matter you wanted to raise, so you might have to come back and raise it. Question of fathers and the involvement in their children's education.
Yeah, but there's a saying that I came upon recently. Waste no time in arguing what a good man should be. Be one.
Okay. waste no time in arguing what a good man should be. Just be a good man. All right. Well, they first have to know what constitutes what behaviors he or she, what behaviors the man must engage in, what that he must engage in order to be described as good. But thank you very much, gentlemen. It is clear that this is a matter, anything involving men definitely is going to attract a lot of attention, and we look forward to having you return so we can continue the discussion, because we want not only the men's council to go and be stronger, but we want men in the society to desist and cease from certain actions which now characterize them, and begin to engage in new behaviors that will lend and lead to better children and, of course, by extension, better society. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being a part of Frank and Candid today. We look forward to continuing with you on Wednesday, tomorrow, of course, being a House of Assembly, and we hope to continue the discussion with the Men's Council sooner than later. Until such time, remember, do the right thing.